introduce, I'm not going to pull him out of his seat because we're recording this meeting so we can put it on the principal's page, so parents that couldn't come today and working parents, or if they had something else coming, we can put it on there and they can actually see the whole entire meeting. So this is our leader of videotaping, Mr. Gannon from 5th grade, so he's going to do a great job. Couple things I want to talk about for next year. First of all, this year has gone by so incredibly fast. I cannot believe it's almost over. I'm kind of in a tailspin right now because I'm trying to get ready for the end of the year. But I said it's been the busiest, most exciting, and wonderful year of my entire career. So it's been wonderful. As we come to a close, I wanted to talk just a little bit about what's coming up to the end of the year. Obviously, we're still with iStep, and I didn't think you'd mind that we didn't break all this down and then build it back up. So iStep is coming to a close. Starting Monday, we will start with all of our end of the year benchmarks. So we will benchmark every student in math and reading, with fluency, comprehension, plus all of the other end of the year things that they're going to be doing in their classroom. So it's going to be a really, really busy but fun time because we're going to have field day. We've got some of 4th grade events coming up. We've got the 5th grade recognition ceremony. So there's going to be a lot of incredible things. Tomorrow, we will have Dr. Wall here with us the entire day. He is coming in, he's visiting every elementary school, and he will be here to meet with every single teacher, IA, secretary, custodian throughout the day. I will be kind of shifting him, or the teachers and staff in and out of the conference room. So they can sit down, he can get to know them a little bit, they can get to know him. He's got, I think, a presentation ready for them. I haven't seen it yet, I'll be in the first group. But that'll be really exciting to have him over and spend the day. I've asked 30 students to greet him in the morning because I think it's really important for him to get a student's perspective. He's coming over to talk to all adults and I want him to talk to some kids. So they're going to meet with him first thing in the morning and ask him some questions and give him the opportunity to ask them some questions. So I think that'll be fun. Exciting things for next year. I took a lot of feedback. 2 things I want to talk about today, big things for next year. I wanted to kind of create or put together, take some feedback from parents and staff and students. So we have moved forward on approaching the district about a paved walking track for our campus. And gosh, it was a lot easier than I thought. I met with the director of facilities and the financial people, and I said, here's what I want. I would like to have some people come in on, we have all that green field next to us, and to pave a 1/4 mile walking track for kids to use that is truly wheelchair accessible, that kids can get out there. So every single student in this entire school can benefit from it. We can use it for field day, for Kindy 500, for teachers to walk after school. We can promote so much more wellness for milers, Hawk Miler. I mean, it's endless what we could use this track for. And the district came back and said, great idea, a lot of our schools have these tracks. I said, great, how do we do it? What do we do? And they said, well, we will pay for half, Prairie Trace paying for half up to $15,000. No brainer, we can do that. So I got with PTO, who was behind it 100%, but I thought, you know, there's so many things I want to do with Prairie Trace and let's try to raise some of that money, some of that $15,000. So with the help of many people, we started putting together grants. There's a lot of money out there if you just ask for it. We had a previous gift of $2,000 that was just sitting that when I came aboard, I kind of did my version of an audit just to look into every single account to see where money is, where we really used money, where we didn't use so much money. So we started with $2,000 gift fund that was never used. We applied for and received to the Kroger company. We wrote, you know, we shot for the stars. The maximum amount was $5,000, and we found out last week that we received $5,000. So now we're up to $7,000. I went into a Legion, which broke off from Ingersoll Rand, as a cold call, put a binder together, kind of created our own grant, and they within a week said, we'll give you $1,000. So, and then Prairie View Golf Course was put a similar thing together for them, and they came back and said, we'll give you $2,000. So the amount of money that we have so far is incredible. So, again, met with facilities, and it looks like the groundbreaking will be the week after school starts, and the ribbon cutting full use will be before school starts in the fall. So we're going to be ready to go. I would like to, along with PTO, they're really spearheading this part, but I would like to give families the opportunity, not as a moneymaker, but to have somewhat of your fingerprints on all of this for years to come. So I'd like to put together the opportunity for families with strictly the family name on a brick. And the district said if you do that, we'll come in after it's poured and functioning and cut out a start and finish line and put those family bricks. So I think that's fabulous too. We can do some bricked areas with some flowers and some signs from our donation, or from our corporate partners with their name on it, so we can also make and recognize them. Because it's going to be a big media event, the ribbon cutting. They're going to want to be in on this, so we will organize that in the fall. I'd like to do it maybe a week before school starts. So those are really exciting things that are going to be happening next year. That I'm really excited about. And you know, I'm going to reach out now, help me, let's get these bricks going, you know, let's promote this. It's time, I think, that there's a big, bright, shining light over Prairie Trace, and it needs to stay there for a while. So, you know, we have incredible students. Ashley and I talk about this all the time, that the parent support is beyond belief. From our standpoint, a lot of times when people volunteer, they want to volunteer for certain things, you know, that directly have to do with their kids. And I have not found that here. What I find here is I'll help, and then they ask, what do you want me to do later? Which is the true meaning of volunteer. So I very, very much appreciate that. But I'm excited because this is something, you know, sometimes when you start putting things like this together, it takes 2 years down the road before you see it. This is something we're going to have when school starts. So I'm thrilled about that. So, and PTO has really, you know, been very supportive and helpful. So, and the good thing is that we're not going to drain an account to get it done. You know, we've got a lot of stuff coming in. The second thing I'm very, very excited about that I want to talk to you about, I want you to, you know me and my videos. I'm going to show you a video first. So let me put that in. I want you to watch that first before I tell you what it is. We had collaboration last week where we met with every single grade level, every teacher and every specials, everything, and I showed this video to them. So I've seen this video 15 times, and at one point in that video I always tear up again. Because, you know, we've been talking this year and we're getting to know everybody. There was something to me, not missing, but something that I wanted to do more of with our kids. We have incredible kids in this building. But I got turned on to this book, and I'm telling you, it's called The Leader in Me by Stephen Covey. How many of you know the 7 Habits and practice them? They truly do change me. And I will never lead a school or my home or anything I do ever again the same after I read this. It really did change me, and we've researched it, we've looked it up. You can pay for this company that, you know, to come in and train your whole staff. I don't think we need that. I think we have the most incredible people in our building to do it on our own, if it's in an organized way. So last 2 Fridays ago, Ashley and I, we took 2 teachers, an upper grade teacher and a first grade teacher, to Lexington, Kentucky. We drove down because they have a Leader in Me school. And we walked, you know, I didn't know completely what to expect. I knew they practiced this and they live it and breathe it in their building, and I wanted to see what it looked like because it's incredible in this book. And the school home connection is outstanding. I skipped through and read how to do it as a parent first, and then I went back. But we walked into this school, and it is it couldn't be the complete opposite of Prairie Trace. They have 47% of their students are on free or reduced lunch. Half of their teachers were teaching in portable pods out in a field because they're renovating their school. Their technology was very minimal. Their curriculum, of course, I'm snooping through and looking at all their books, and it in no way compares to Prairie Trace. But the students of that school blew me away. And I mean, I do get emotional talking about these kids. You walked in and they were all dressed for success. And you walked in and every single student that I met looked me right in the face and said, "Welcome to our school, I am so glad you're here." And every student in that building is taught that they're a leader in some way or another. When you walk into the classroom, every student has a job that they're the leader of. In kindergarten, Isaiah was the bug smasher because they're in this pod out in the field. And he took that job more seriously than I take my own job. And we said, "Well, is that really a job?" And he said, "We get a lot of bugs in here." And it's my favorite job. And his job, if somebody saw a bug, they raised their hand and he went over and smashed it. And he knows that if he does not go to school that day, nobody is smashing bugs. We got there and we heard this incredible, it was set up and there were 200, I think, plus teachers, administrators at this building. The keynote speaker of the day was a 4th grader. It would have blown you away. These kids were miles above being secure with talking to adults, their manners, their respect as they spoke to each other. I didn't have an adult leading my group. It was led by 2 3rd grade students. I had one in the front and one in the back. And they were taught these skills. When we went on a tour and went into classrooms, that little boy would, it'd be 5 minutes left and he would go, I know that you're in the middle of talking, but we have 5 minutes, so let's wrap it up. And then he'd go back to the front of the line. It was nothing short of amazing. We were in one 3rd grade classroom and the teacher was at the front of the portable and her 3rd grade class was debating the wolf and the pig side of the story. And the phone rang and this little girl in the back, 3rd grader, stood up, went over, picked up the phone and she said, Miss Classroom, she's teaching, can I take a message? And she waited, and she goes, yes, right away. Hung up the phone, went over, tapped a little boy on the shoulder and said, your mom's here to get you for a doctor's appointment. Can you get your backpack and meet her in the office? Sat back down, the teacher did not even look up. She just kept going with the debate. And the biggest message I got from this school that day, it is common sense, but it is not common practice. We've got to teach our kids this. And looking at, he talked a lot, the principal did talk to us for a while about the amount of discipline that they had in their school went down dramatically. In a 3 years' time, they went from the lowest performing school to the highest in their district. Now, almost half of their kids their families can't afford to buy their lunch. And these kids, there's not a doubt in my mind that every single student in that classroom feels extremely valued, that they're a vital role of the success of that school. And, I look at our kids in our school. Carmel High School is huge. The chances of you going to Carmel High School and being the lead in the play or the captain of the debate team or the football team or whatever is pretty minimal. But if you build these skills in these kids here, they know that they can be the leader of something. They're going to find it in them. What is that calling, or what am I drawn to do? I bet no other schools in Carmel right now have a leader of videotaping in their building, and we do. And he's sitting right here. So I think just empowering these kids and putting this program together is going to be just forever changing for us. So that's my big thing for next year. I want to find the leader in all of our kids. The teachers responded incredible to this collaboration. They all walked out of there. I bought a book for every single person in Prairie Trace, not just teachers. In August, a week before school starts, every IA, cafeteria person, custodian, assistant, anybody that's involved in our school, I'm going to give this book to them. I would love it if all families bought one, because one of the things that we also had a chance to talk to a lot of the parents that night or that day, and the mothers and fathers that were there said it changed our home. The kids came home how to sharpen the saw, so they don't just focus on their academics, they focus on eating right and health, and doing things to keep them healthy. It really is amazing. And then one of the things the school did was put together some parent nights, so the parents can come and have teachers here and talk about and create ways to do some things that transfer from home to school and back and forth. And that part was really, as a parent, that part was really great for me. Win-win. And finding a winner in every situation. That was pretty powerful to me too. Kids really do look at it as a win-win situation. Okay, this is what I want. How can we both win? There's an activity that I want to do with the teachers, and I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I want to do it in August. That it's an activity that you do with a partner. And at the end of the activity, you realize that the goal was not to beat the person, but for you to both to come out the winner. And just there's a lot of things that we can put in place and start teaching, simply this book with our kids. So I'm going to move in that direction for next year. The teachers are really excited. At the end of the day, we sent an email out and said, every teacher has this now. So at the last week of school, I'm going to put an email out and say, if you'd like to be part of building this foundation moving forward over the summer to implement, now this isn't anything we'll do differently. This will be all woven into our PBIS. We're not changing any of that. It's just things that you teach in your classroom. There's a lot of books that go with this. So if you're studying something or doing a closed reading in the classroom, tie in some of these habits with it. Let's start recognizing this and teaching it with our kids. The response from the teachers was completely overwhelming. How many immediately emailed back and said, I want to be part of that. And so the teacher buy-in has been incredible. So I wanted to introduce this to you. I would love to have order forms, but the more I research that and put together an organized way of getting this book, it's going to be a whole lot cheaper to get it on Amazon. So I just kind of said, let's do away with that, because you can get it on Amazon for a lot less than I can get a group order together. But the other thing that really impressed me with this is that the relationship between this and service projects within your classroom. I think a lot of times we collect money for things, but the kids have no idea where that goes or what it's really used for. So I'd like to get our hands dirty a little bit next year, and if we are talking about homeless, we actually go serve in a soup kitchen, and do some more kid-driven things. And I'll leave you with this. One of the biggest changes that it had on me too is that I will never interview or hire another position unless kids are involved in it. The principal of that school said that it was a very busy day. They were screening applicants for a new teacher position. They had one teacher position open, and there happened to be some kids in the office as these teachers were coming in and out going through their interviews. And he noticed the kids were sitting talking to them, and at the end he went out and he asked the one little girl, he said, well, what'd you think about these people that are applying for this teaching job? And she said, well, I really like the tall lady in the gray suit, and I like the short lady. I think she had a scarf on, and she described the two people. He said, I had met for extensive period of time with all these teachers. Guess who our final two candidates were? Those two. And I thought, that is so moving to me, because kids can cut through like that to know who loves kids, who's genuine, who really cares about people. And so I'm going to involve kids on that. When I knew Dr. Wall was coming, I'm like, well, that's great, but not one point of this day do we have kids involved in it. So I went down, asked some kids, 3 kids, 3rd, 4th, and 5th grader. They were completely ready for it. And I can't wait to hear what they ask him. I mean, I just think everything we do, if we make it kid-directed, kid-focused, we're going to see a huge difference. So I don't know, it was just an amazing day, and the teachers that went with us came back, and we thought we got up at 4 o'clock in the morning because we had to drive to Lexington, and on the way back I thought, oh, we're going to be exhausted. We couldn't stop talking about all the incredible things we could do. Pinterest has got this stuff all over it. So we're very, very excited to get moving on this. I would love to get, outside of Spirit Wear, I buy t-shirts for the staff each year. I want to have something on, maybe the 7 habits across the back or something. I'm going to do something and then give kids the opportunity to get those shirts too. But I hope that people get really excited about it if you pick up the book and read it. And we're going to do some really exciting, great things for kids next year with this in mind. So that's what I wanted to talk about this. One quick short thing. We do have a lot of movement for next year. A lot of changes, about 10 different teachers moving. Some of them have really impressed me that came in, sat down and said, I've been teaching this grade for a very long time, and you know, we talked about their professional goals, where they wanted to be in a few years, where they saw themselves in several years. So we've made some changes. So we're going to have different teachers teaching different grades next year. So that's really exciting. So now we're in the midst of, you know, talking about team building and doing some fun things as new teams next year. The way we put class, I had a lot of questions about how do you put classes together. I do not put, if Quincy had Miss Aletto for a teacher, that doesn't mean Riley's getting, because my kids are so completely different. I don't want them to follow in each other's footsteps. So I don't know who had who, and that won't come into effect at all. I do provide a parent input form. I don't pass them out, I don't email them out, but if you have a specific concern for your child that maybe you don't want them in the classroom with your next door neighbor because they play together all the time and you want them to venture out, put that on that form, that you would rather, you know, them not be together, or maybe they have a cousin at this school and you don't want them in the same classroom, or for whatever reason. But I will tell you, if you say, my child has to have Miss Smith, she's not going to have Miss Smith. But if there's a teacher that maybe you've had maybe a not good experience in the past, if you put that, your child won't have that teacher. But you know, our job as administrators is to make sure every single classroom in this building is a classroom we would feel great about putting our own child in. So if that's not the case, you know, we'll handle that and help that teacher grow. But we're excited about that. There's a fun buzz in the air through the building because teachers are really excited. Now they want to go watch each other teach, and you know, it's really exciting. So we're excited to get started, but we're going to have a great end to this year first. So you probably have questions. I talked quick. No questions? A lot of new things, and I'm sure you'll have questions as they come up, but please know, I know some of you, most of you know that my door is open all the time. If you call or email, half of you probably have my cell phone number, and that's okay too. But it's going to be a great year, but thank you very much for, the first year has been beyond great for me, so thank you very much, I appreciate it.